What's up, guys? This is JTQ9 of Ssx1, and welcome back to the channel. Season 45, War number 1. Very excited to get back up into the season. Had a nice off season. I mean, it was nice to kind of sit back, relax, try to catch up on some content. But here we are, back again for another one. Hopefully, after going deathless last season, we can continue up with the trend and get this going. But it won't be without its complications. So in this first war, we're starting off with the spot. You've seen me take this 100 times. Very easy with power backs and blade, being a dimensional being. So fairly easy. This next fight also relatively easy as I bring Sandman into the war. So moving forward with the two following fights is where you know you gotta shake off some dust. Not some dust. Well, I mean some dust as well, I guess, because it's the first war back, but definitely some rust. Because maybe I digress. Anyway, we'll get onto that when we get to the next fight. But this one here, Sandman, I have since learned from last season how to play him relatively effectively. So I know now that when he's unstable, you try to land the heavies, and that kind of roots him in place and does more of the damage. But also being tactic, one of the mistakes I made obviously early on, as you saw, was the forgetting to get the initial heavy down to get the slow up, so he doesn't go unstoppable, which is always frustrating. But having all the petrifies up means it doesn't necessarily gain as much power or as quick. And after 2 cycles of heavy, doing our new kind of standard Sandman rotation, he is down really quick. So despite having the armor breaks on him, because Sandman is tactic, he will not take the damage once you get to 5 withers. So that was pretty good. So this fight here, this Nova, initially there's 2 options here. I could have either taken him with the Sandman. The other option was to take him with Absman. So as you know, DLL created the character, and he's in my battle group. He's my officer, leader of the Alliance. There are a lot of good Absman players in our battle group specifically. So in the past several seasons, I haven't had to use them at all. So I'll use them on occasion in battlegrounds or some side events and stuff where I'm trying to learn them, but definitely not comfortable. So when I was doing the duels with him, I was having a tough time finding the right balance and figuring out how to do proper damage and this and that. So he then gave me the option of, okay, well, what if we were to use Sandman? I said the petrifies would help keep his power in limbo, meaning he won't necessarily gain as many power from just from moving. Well, you know, taking 5 hits to the face is never ideal. But this is where it was kind of get dicey, because I don't know what was going on here. I just never really felt comfortable. So he got, you know, the unblockable up, then he hits me, and I was starting to get worried because the duels honestly didn't really go well for whatever reason. I am pretty comfortable dexing both the specials, so I'm not overly concerned with that. But I never really kind of got into the routine that I wanted to get into. So at this point, I'm unstable. I finally get him in the first heavy chain, which probably should have happened a little bit earlier. And because of that, with all the debuffs and everything that amplifies kind of the damage he does, I was able to get him down. So, so this next fight, this Wiccan one, is one that I didn't think was going to be an issue. But again, I made the same mistake as last time, where losing my invuln boost in the first hit without even doing any damage was great. I think I make another mistake here again by not having the slows up. I believe he goes on... Yeah, there he goes unblockable. And then, so before I've done any more than 10% damage, or let alone 8, I think my health gets down to as low as... Well, I guess we're going to find out in a second, because it wasn't very good. I just kept getting trapped in the incinerates. I think I got as low as like 20 or even 18% damage. And then I was finally able to get a special off with the adrenaline, helped me get a little bit up. And because I'm healing now from kind of the debuffs on me, I managed to creep my health kind of back up a bit. Then I pushed him to an SP2, which I don't like doing. I like kind of keeping him to the SP1, because sometimes it can catch you off guard if you're trying to dex or anything like that. But with my withers up, I finally was able to sort of get to a better rotation where I was getting the petrifies up on him, I wanted to eventually get him to a heavy cycle, but again, nothing felt comfortable in this fight at all. For whatever reason. Again, maybe because you don't take the off-season war fights particularly serious. So that's maybe one of the reasons why I was in a little bit of trouble. But anyway, after all that, all to say is that I managed to get my solo, which is the most important thing. It was a very sloppy, very ugly fight. And we'll clean that up for the next time, because I'm sure I'll be using him again. So anyways, in this one here against JA, we historically have never done well against them. They are a very strong alliance. Their defense is very good. And I think they've beaten us every time. So this one here, we got very fortunate because we were behind on time. I think we were tied with, I think they had about 10 fights left. And they ended up dying 3 times to a Rintra, which is not common for them. It was a mistake that happened and ended up costing them the war and giving us the victory very, very late on. So it was a very, very pleasant surprise to start that 1-0. We'll take it. Not going to complain. And I'm sure they will get their chance for revenge at another point in time. But for this time right now, we are going to take it and run with it. So thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.